Hi, I'm Tom and I talk about code. Welcome to another programming live stream. Today we're going to be experimenting with Love2D and we're going to be trying to build some extra UI for my stream. So if you've seen my stream before, my main layout, if I swap over to it quickly, this one over here, right? It's something like this. Let's draw a quick picture, right? So I have, if this is the whole stream element, this whole stream window, roughly in this kind of aspect ratio, right? You have my webcam lives over here, and my code window lives over here somewhere, right? And then there's this space. There's a lot of space. There's some space over here, and there's some space down here, okay? And I figure I should put this space to use, right? I'm not a big fan of gaudy overlays where someone follows and it's like, you know, X followed, and it takes up, it like distracts from everything, especially if I'm like doing a lot of really fast-paced coding. I think that could be kind of disruptive. Infinite Coder, welcome. Yeah, we're doing a stream overlay in Lua. So I'm gonna write a little GUI program, a little graphical program. It's gonna appear here on my stream overlay, and we're gonna put stuff here like X followed. Except that should be an O, not an A. Cool. So we're gonna build this. Now, it turns out that I've been experimenting with this a little bit, and here's what I have so far. Okay, so this is the window where I can see it on my screen, and then you also get to see it down here off the bottom of my screen where it should live. So I can drag this off my screen and you can still see it. This is the idea. This is the idea. Pop out chat. Yeah, so this is gonna be, oh, where's everyone? Bobbius, welcome. Not even transparent, not even always on top, right? This is just a window that gets rendered to, that I have positioned in a specific spot in my overlay. So that's kind of cool. I think that's going to work well. Not OBS Web. No, not OBS Web. I don't like OBS Web. Building OBS Web on Linux can be tricky because of the CES dependency. So I'm just not going to do. Hold on. So do I actually have browser source in this? I don't. Yeah, so I don't have browser source in this build of OBS, right? I was using it, but compiling it is really, really annoying. So we're just not doing it anymore. It's in OR, but it pulls in a lot of dependencies and stuff, and I'm gonna do it this way. I think this is better than web anyway. So this is gonna come with a few interesting things, a few interesting problems. We're gonna have to decide a few things. One thing we're gonna have to decide pretty early on is, how do we get these events? Okay. You had no idea it was a pain on Linux? I mean, pain's maybe a strong word, but look at the OR package and look at the discussion, and you'll see people have issues. Lucky folks with multiple monitors. Multiple monitors are bust, man. I mean, I'm actually really lucky. I've just found monitors on the street. I've got maybe 5 or 6 monitors in this room. 2 of them are set up on the desk behind me where people can come co-work with me. It's good, it's good. So, how do we get events? We have 2 options. Option number 1 is we actually do like Twitch API in Lua. And I think this is gonna suck, so we're not gonna do this. I think this is a bad idea. So what else can we do? Well, we could build some kind of other channel. We could just have some kind of like dumb... well, let's actually just draw it, right? So this is the other option where we have our Love2D program. It's called L2D. This can open a TCP socket. And then we can have some other program. Maybe it's some like Python program. Which listens, I think it's actually WebSockets now, right? So this goes out and does Twitch. And then forwards events on to our little Love2D program. I think that would be simpler. I think that would be much simpler. Why no Twitch API? Well, we're going to use the Twitch API. We're just not going to call it from Lua, because I think doing that in Lua will be kind of gross. You want 3D love. Go outside. Hold on, sorry, you can't see chat. You want 3D love, go outside. Why will it be gross? Because Lua is gross. I don't know, like dealing with JSON responses and stuff. Basically, I don't want to use Lua rocks, right? I don't want to do Lua packages. So with that in mind, We're gonna do it in a different language instead. We're probably gonna pull someone else's code in that just does it. Why am I using Lua? Because the GUI stuff in Lua with Love2D is really easy and really good, right? So I'm picking the tool that lets me do the graphical stuff really easily, and I'm picking the tool that lets me do the API stuff really easily, and then I'm going to build a really dumb bridge in between them. That's my thought. That's my thought. It also means that it's not necessarily tied to Twitch, right? Maybe I want to rig this up to other things. Like I could rig it up to, hold on, single file. Someone has done Twitch API. Okay, maybe this is actually just a solved problem. Okay, maybe I just use this. Cool. Twitch loop, join channels. Is this chat? Is this just Twitch chat though? Or is this the actual API? Compatible with Love. Twitch client. Logger save, try send. Logger send, connection send, receive. Connect. I don't know if this is the API I want. I actually think I want the WebSocket stuff. Yeah. Well, yeah. So this is a chat client. That's no good. The full actual, like, I don't know. I feel like doing WebSockets. Okay, well, actually, maybe WebSockets are better. Lua WebSockets. And this not maintained. Perfect. Usage. I suspect this doesn't compile build up into one Lua file, right? We'd have to use Lua package management, and I find that is always a real pain. Event sub, yeah, that's WebSocket, right? I'm pretty sure. I think they've got a WebSocket system now. Blah blah blah. Webhook. Events using WebSockets, yeah. So this is supported now. I don't want to use webhooks, but the WebSocket one is the simplest. This stuff is all good. So, and it's kind of good to do this, right? And check it out and make sure I'm actually doing this the right way. Let's check out the awesome Lua list. Let's look for anything that does WebSocket. REST WebSocket. No. WebSockets for Lua. I think this is the one I was just looking at that's not maintained. Skynet WebSocket. I don't know what Skynet WebSocket is. Yeah, so Lua HTTP. This looks like the more battle-hardened one. CI failing. Lua has a built-in one? No, it definitely doesn't. Lua has nothing built in. Or Love2D might have a built-in HTTP client. Yeah, so on the Love2D end, that might be better. But we have to build and compile this in. It depends on Boost. Okay, so this is doable. Lua has C integration built in. Yeah. But this is like, that's not particularly, like, I don't want to do this. I would rather not pull a C dependency in if I don't have to. This stuff gets very fragile, right? It's all well and good to say, yeah, great, it works in Lua, but this... maybe not. Basically, I want to build something where I don't have to worry about the build ever breaking, and so that's... I'm gonna build a dumb TCP bridge. This is my conclusion from looking at this. This looks messy. Trust me, this is going to be really simple, and it's gonna work really well. What's Terraling? Embedded in low-level systems programming language embedded in Lua. It's kind of fun. One file. Okay, hold on. We've got more stuff. Someone else has done a one-file WebSocket. Does this have dependencies? Pure Lua implementation for Love2D. Socket. What's require socket? Pure Lua requires socket. These things, does this have a dependency, right? Oh, but I need WSS. I need secure WebSockets. So like I've dabbled in this world before, and I know that it leads to pain. And so I have made a decision. So basically, what I have so far, my idea was that I'm gonna have this kind of. I got really sidetracked there. This part I may not actually even do today. We might just focus on making it look pretty for now. And I think that'll be fine. That'll be fine. Sorry, I do just want to talk to this again. It's not that it's hard, it's that it's fragile and that it'll break, right? When I'm starting a stream, I don't want to go to start a stream and then find out some Lua Rocks dependencies no longer work together. I want to press a button. And having it just Love2D and just like, you know, no dependency or like one dependency Python, that is a lot simpler. So it's not that it's hard, it's that from experience, Lua packaging is really, really fragile and really, really painful, especially when Lua packages compile Cin. Yeah. Okay. I've wasted too much time engaging with this already. So, I've got, you know, this kind of like structure for representing a bit of text scrolling across, and I'm gonna have to have a couple of different things that I can represent, right? You know, I think scroll text is interesting, but most things I probably don't want scrolling. So like, you know, scroll. Let's make a quick list. I guess let's say I probably want like timed center text, right? So center text. A center print that lasts for n seconds. Right, let's say scrolling text until off screen. And then, I don't know, like probably some other things, like some kind of, I guess, arbitrary visualization, like run some function, call function for n seconds. Or I guess until done. Right, so let's say we have 3 different types of event. These all have this concept of done, of like when they're done. So in general, if we have some kind of, so we need some kind of active event and some kind of queue of events to come after it, right? So let's imagine I get a follower, right? We get a follower, we get another follower, we get another follower. We want to kind of queue those things up to show in this little display. So what would that queue look like? Let's do the dumb thing and let's say event list. And I'm gonna do this. I thought Lua format usually did underscore, but Love2D does camel, so I'm gonna do camel. So we're gonna start with an empty list of things, right? Of events that have come in. And we're also gonna have an active event, which is gonna be, we'll start with nil, I guess, the thing that we're currently showing. Okay, so now instead of update running like this, and I probably want some kind of local timer ACK, right, which is going to count all elapsed time because some things might run based on timers. And we'll probably do something like if active event is not nil, then active event update DT. And similarly for draw, we're just basically going to say if there's an active event, excellent. Cool. So, then we want to make, now, eventually I probably want this to be a meta table. We're just going to do it with a function for now. Let's say make scroll text speed. Okay, we're going to return an object. That object is going to have text. It's going to have speed. We're going to have maybe a state timer that's going to increment every time it's updated so that it can scroll across the screen. we'll give it a height, we'll give it a default height. This might be, you know, configurable eventually, but just kind of so that it is a variable and it's less work to change later. And then we're going to do the functions as well. We'll say, what did I call them? Update function, which takes global timer, global time, delta time, and all we say is self.state timer equals self state timer plus dt. That's what we do here. When we draw, we're going to have a function which does this. Cool. Excellent, excellent. So then we need, oh yeah, self. Do we do this or self? I think we do self, right? I always forget the semantics of this in Lua. So we'll have one global font for this, that's okay. Global font, I'm not particularly concerned about, except we're gonna say self.state and self.speed, and this is actually gonna be state timer. And we'll have self.text and self.height. Let's see what happens when we run this. What happens when we run this? So instead of this, we're going to say active event equals make scroll and this will probably be a syntax error. Expected colon, so I probably forgot a comma here. That checks out. Excellent. Okay, so we've got a system so that we can make these and hopefully kind of queue them up in some way. Perfect, perfect. So we want to do this with a meta table though. We want to do this with a meta table. So let's move this into, oops. Let's make a file called events.lua. Let's move this in here. We'll make a new table. We'll make a table for scroll. This is going to be a meta table, right? It's going to have text equals nothing. It's going to have speed, just some default. It's going to have a default state timer, and it's going to have a default height of 0. We're going to have functions. We're going to have scroll, update. We don't use self here because we're defining it with the colon, so self comes along for the ride. We're going to copy and paste this. Function scroll helps if there's an R in there. Scroll draw, which is going to do all of this. And we also want something else. We want something to know if we're done with this. We want to call it, I guess, done, right? So if it's done, we're going to queue up the next thing. Easy, easy. And this is a bit trickier though, because how do we know when something's scrolled off of the screen? Okay, we need to know how long the string is graphically, and there might actually be an API for this. Love2D graphics APIs. Some libraries give you a nice function for this, and I can never remember. Width, print. Like, does it? Graphics. I thought Love had this. Maybe it doesn't. Is there a way to search? No. Okay. Well, this is a wiki, so that doesn't really help. That's okay. We're just gonna estimate for now. We're just gonna estimate. So we're gonna maybe say like, if state timer is greater than self dot the length of self dot text times by 40. I don't know, the number of characters. in it, and I don't think we can do string length like that, can we? Lua string length. I think we have to use a function like string string length. Can we do it with string.len? We're going to do it with string.len. That's not what hash does. Hash is a bit more magic than that. Okay, return true, else return false. Kind of. Except the problem is that, you know, I might have some visualizations that run. I'm imagining like Windows 95 screensavers, you know, like Maze, and maybe I'll have some kind of like Starfield or something. And so I want some of these to run but be interruptible. Because if someone subscribes, if someone, you know, follows, that I want to interrupt whatever's currently visualized, but maybe some things, you know, so there's going to be a priority system. So it's not going to be quite as simple. There are going to be, I guess, slightly more complicated state transitions. Anshul XYZ, welcome. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you for stopping by. I'm glad people are out there enjoying my videos. I'm having a lot of fun making them, and I'm keen to keep going. So welcome, welcome. Okay, so make scroll is now a little bit simpler, right? So we're gonna return set meta table on this thing, and the meta table is gonna be index equals scroll. Cool. And I think I want to set state timer, right? Maybe, just in case. Just in case. I don't want to modify the global one. Cool, so let's try this. Let's try this. Anshul, thank you very much for following. Thank you so much for following. I love to see it. What do I return from this? I want to return maybe a table. Can I do this? Can I say local events.lua? So can I say, oops, events.new scroll? Is this gonna work? I've certainly made a typo somewhere. Cannot feel cool field new scroll. Okay, bad argument number one to set font. Expected font got nil. That's because this font is not set here. So let's do it here. Let's do it here instead. Beautiful. Okay, that works. That works. Nice. Let's see. Let's see. So where do we go from here? Let's see if we can... Well, let's see if we know when this is done. So let's actually say, right? Let's say if active event done, then love event quit. Let's quit the program when we work out this is done. That'll be nice and visually obvious. I've got another bot offering me the best viewers. Little do they know that I already have the best viewers. I attempted to compare a number with nil. What was nil? State timer. State timer was nil. I love these little errors. Okay, so here it goes. We're going to crank up the speed. We're going to crank up this speed. Because that is... I am an impatient man. I can't be dealing with this. Let's go to 280. There it goes. Okay, so is it going to close when it goes off screen? Or rather, how far off screen will it have to be to do anything? Okay. 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 Okay, so why is this not done? If timer is bigger than... Oh, timer, hold on. Times self.speed. There we go. Timer is very small. Timer goes up very... Whoa. Whoa. Okay, well that's too much. Hold on. How big is each character? Each character must be wider than 40. Let's just try 160. Right? Let's try 160. That's too... that's okay. That's okay. So this isn't good, but we'll just leave it to do that for now, because that's what you do. That's what you do as a professional software developer. Perhaps infinitely far. It would have taken an additional... it would have taken 80 times longer, essentially, right? Or 280 times longer, I guess, if our string's moving a bit faster. Right, because we're basically defining this as state timer. At any point, our text is state timer times speed pixels from the right-hand edge of the window. Okay, so that's good. So we can detect when something has ended. So let's go to a new file and let's call it q.lua. Okay, now q is perhaps a bold word, but we'll go with q. And let's make a table. We're going to make some functions on this table. Okay, function q. So a queue is going to have, it's going to have an empty table of entries. And I think that's the main thing, maybe. This is the function I was looking for before. Thank you. Get width, font get width. Get the width of text in a font. Hold on, this is exactly what I wanted. Thank you. I knew there was something in Love2D that did it. Let's fix this right now. So font.getWidth. So scroll font get width. That might actually be a method. Yeah, font get width. It's colon. Okay, cool. So let's just quickly try that. Yeah, if you've got a good font renderer. Where'd he go? Where? Huh? That doesn't really make sense. Wait, hold on. This is bigger than the width of the string. That actually isn't what I want either. What I probably want is, this is weird. That should be stopping early, if anything, because what we're saying is once the whole string is on the screen, that should end, right? But yeah, functions like this come along with good font rendering APIs. I've definitely seen them before. Let's just print. Let's do some debug printing, because I love this. Print. Let's see what this spams out. Nothing. Oh, right, yeah, I got rid of it. I got rid of this because I'm about to do something else. Okay, sorry. I started refactoring and then moved on to something else. We'll leave this for now because otherwise I'm gonna trip over myself again while I try and do too many things at once. Okay, so add an entry to this list where all we're gonna do is say self entries table push, table append, push append. This is one of those things you have to Google every time. Table. Okay, here we go. Tables. Insert and remove. That was literally the page. Table insert. Third option. Self.entries. We're going to add E. Excellent. Now, removing an element from a table in Lua is always a little bit tricky. There are a few ways you can think about this, right? I'm gonna do it the stupid way for now. Remove given position in an array. Removes the last element of an array. Okay, so let's just say we always take the last element. It's too long since you last used Lua. It's always been too long. If you haven't used Lua today, it's been too long since you've last used Lua. Lua's a great language. You should use it more. Lua's good. Okay, so next. So the next thing we'll just say return table remove self.entries. But we'll also say if the length of self.entries is less than or equal to 0. Let's just say equal to 0. Except we don't do curly braces in Lua. Otherwise remove. Yeah, well, it's good when you embed it in something. It's not good when you're building something up. Well, it's not that it's not good, but it's hard to build things up from nothing. It's great when you embed it in something. I have another project idea that I want to do at some point to build basically PHP, but with Lua instead, right? I'm sure someone's already done it, but I thought it would be fun. Just build it in Rust and basically have a backend for it so that you can just like drop into an editor in the front end. You can hit a button and you just get the raw HTML, and it's like Lua inline that replaces certain blocks. I don't know. I think that would be fun. I think that could be a really fun and really easy environment to use. So we've got a queue, we can add things, we can get the next thing. Easy. So event list is going to be a, let's say, local queue equals require queue. We'll make a new queue. So we'll function new. This isn't even going to take anything. All we're going to do is say return set meta table index. Let's just do this because I can never remember if I need to. Index equals queue. Excellent. And then we return a table. Nice. Lua would be great for that. Absolutely. What would be fun is if you could have client and server-side blocks and intermix them and share some state with some compiler magic. That would be really fun. All up here. All up here. Okay, so we've got a queue. When we update, so if the active event is nil, then we'll always say active event is event list next. We always try and take the next thing if it's nil, and we also say if active event done, then active event equals event list next. Cool. Okay. So let's try doing this. Let's say event list push new scroll wow. And this won't work for a variety of reasons. Call method push a nil value. Add. We're not calling it push because we're not a stack. That makes sense. Okay, good. So that did what I thought it would do, which is as soon as the whole string was on the screen, it blew up. Because when we check if we're done, all we're checking is, right, remember, state timer times speed is distance from the right edge of the screen. So when the distance from the right edge of the screen is equal to the width of the font, that's fine. So what we actually want to do here is add the width of the screen, right? Because that means we've traveled the whole way across the screen and then off the screen. So we'll say love graphics get width. Okay, here we go. So I don't know where hello world went. Okay, they came out in reverse order. That makes sense because of how I pushed them in. And then we're done forever. That's cool. That's really cool. Love it. That feels good. Okay. So scroll feels good. What else was I going to do? I was just going to do like center text. So let's do one for, let's say, local center print. And this will have a duration. And the duration will be, I guess, 1 second by default. It won't have a height, right? Because the height is just the center. The height is the center. Font get width. Font get height. So we have a height as well. So that's good. So we can do the center print correctly. So let's copy and paste for this because that's fun. It's a good way to go. Also, I probably want this under new scroll just so that it's easier to read. Okay, so center print, update. Beautiful. When we draw, we're going to set the font to the same font, even though I don't necessarily want the font. We're going to work out the exposition. The exposition is... so hold on, I've got to, this is one of those things that I should just know how to do by now. I've been writing code for long enough, but I just have to think about it every time, right? So if we've got the screen, it's like subtract and divide by 2, right? But I just have to convince myself. So we've got this area, we've got the width, okay? So width over 2 is here. And we want, so we're drawing at the left-hand edge, so we want to subtract half the width from that. Okay, so get width divided by 2, and we're going to subtract scroll font. Oops, I'm on the wrong scene. Assuming it measures from the top down. Yeah. That is always a fun assumption to make. Get width of self.text over 2. And we'll do a ypos as well, which is going to be get height over 2, get height divided by 2. Cool. And done. We're just going to say if the state timer is bigger than self.duration. Self.duration. Knowing your coordinates kind of matters in graphics. That is absolutely true. Which way is into the screen? Is that positive Z or is that negative Z? Because that's going to matter. The fun thing with the PlayStation 2 dev is that I got to decide that and then wonder why none of the code examples I was looking at worked. Which way do you hold your hand when you do this thing? Does it go this way? Does it go this way? Cool, so if the timer is bigger, and actually, why am I doing this? Let me just return this. Why am I doing a Boolean test and then, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Let's simplify. Okay, so let's see if I can put something on the screen. Let's go new. Let's just call it new middle, I guess. And the duration will be for 4 seconds, and then it's going to scroll across the screen. So we'll say new middle is new. I can actually probably just put a function here, a function which takes a text and a duration. We'll return set the table with text equals text, duration equals duration, and the index of the meta table is going to be beautiful, and that needs a comma. Attempted to compare nil with a number. I'm guessing I forgot a self again. Maybe? No? State timer and duration. Oh yeah, no. That looks okay. Done. 53. Self.state timer, not a number. How did this happen? Y is down, Z is forward, X is to the right. The Y can be up, unless 3D printing, Z up, Y away. Yeah, not all games respect this, right? There are definitely games that do Y into the screen and Z is up. Those exist. I can't remember an example off the top of my head, but they do exist. Especially in older consoles that didn't have, like, you know, 3D graphics APIs and you had to write it all yourself. And GPUs that didn't actually do 3D graphics, they just drew triangles with a depth. Like, they had no, you didn't, the depth didn't actually really factor in. There was like a primitive depth buffer, but they weren't really designed for 3D. You know, they had no concept of 3D, so you could do stuff in whatever order you liked. Unreal Engine is Z up. There you go. That is wild. Absolutely wild. That seems more and more wild. The more I think about like modern GPU architecture, that seems incredibly wild. But I imagine it puts it in the same position in the actual vector. Maybe not. I don't know. I would imagine that like drivers cared about that, or like, you know, could do weird things with that and make assumptions about that and depth buffers and stuff. Maybe not. Maybe everything being so programmable means that's actually completely nonsense and it just doesn't matter. Okay, anyway. Why is duration not a number? Less than, hold on. We're not doing a less than. Update events 53 done. Compare nil with number. Which one's nil? That's just odd. That's just really odd. Let's just get rid of this for a sec. Compare nil with a number. Huh. State timer plus DT. That all looks okay. It's on this line. What have I done? Let's just return false. Let's just always say false for now. Let's get it moving. Okay, that looks roughly centered. Maybe it's a little bit misaligned vertically, but that's roughly centered. So that's good. Except I'm confused by why... Oh, that makes sense. I worked it out, guys. I was redefining all of the methods on the other thing. Cool. Okay, that makes sense now. So wow world is going to fly across, and then hello world should get center printed for a couple of seconds, and then disappear. And then disappear. There it goes. Beautiful. That's cool. That's cool. Now, obviously, this needs to look nicer in the background and stuff, but we'll get there. Let's do another type of event. Now, I could probably... I think I'm about to define a type of event that... Oh, well, no, not necessarily. I might just do one that calls a function every update. No, that's too silly. Is it? No, I'm not going to do that. But we can make new types of events, right? So this is just for simple text display, and that's pretty good. I guess another thing I could do that might be fun would be kind of like flashing text. I'm imagining like Jumbotron. Is that what they're called? Like these big screens that retro... Yeah, these are all gonna be bad. But yeah, just like old school looking Jumbotron. I don't know. I'm just imagining it like a bowling animation, right? I don't know. Something kind of weird and fun. Okay, so it would be good to give this... I need to get rid of this tab. That's horribly distracting. It'd be good to give this window a bit of dimension, right? Just a black void is a little bit barren. Also, probably some kind of like ease in and out would be nice. Some kind of like... Ooh. Okay, so there's more to do here. Let's go into our queue. And let's say, do we want maybe like a debounce so that we don't just grab the next thing straight away? Let's leave it like this for now. It'll look a little cheap, but let's leave it like this for now. Let's add it to Git, right? We've got a proof of concept. It's pretty good. So there are just so many directions to take this in. Let me try and build the thing that will feed this events. Okay, so let's go. Let's build the thing that's called pipe.lure, and we're gonna have to do some async lure. And I'm just gonna remind myself, because Lua does support this. Lua does have async stuff built in. Actually, I bet Love2D has better APIs for this. And eNet. Well, okay, eNet socket. eNet is higher level, isn't it? Thin, robust, yeah. That's not what I want. Lua socket. Lua socket's bundled with a Love binary. Love doesn't fully support non-blocking, requires socket, no longer creates a global variable. That's nice. That's really nice. Okay, so Lua socket, C core. So this is built in. This is built in, which is cool. www HTTP URL. Cool. Introduction TCP. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Client server accept. Okay, so we want to run this in a thread. Love thread. Here we go. Here we go. This is feeling better. So, final love thread. Cool. Cool. Everything else has to be loaded with require, which is good. It has channels. Okay. So we can make a channel to pass things through. Let's see an example of this. New thread. New thread takes a file name, which is, again, kind of cool. And so then we can use a channel, AB, channel pop, channel push. Excellent. This is exactly what we need. This is exactly what we need. Okay, so pipe. So pipe is going to be a thing that just runs. New thread, thread.lua. Let's say send equals love.thread.get channel. We'll do it like this, and then we'll say while true do loop forever. We will require socket. Is it require sockets or just socket? Lua socket. Require socket singular. Cool. So we'll just do some setup where we do this stuff. Let me copy and paste because I think that's going to be a little better. Okay, so we get rid of this. Server socket bind. Any port. Let's bind it to a port. Let's pick a number. Let's do 9991. I like 9991. Oh no, okay, no. Let's pick any port. Let's pick any port. Telnet localhost port. Cool, 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 cool. 10 seconds. Okay, let's not do this. While true, do, accept, set timeout. This client's line. Sure, let's do that. Timeout 10. We can always reconnect. That's okay. We're going to receive all the data. And then, do we close at the end? No, that's fine. So we're just going to receive data. And then we need to do something with this line, right? Maybe we just pass it straight in. Maybe we parse it here as well. I don't know. I don't know. Let's think about it. Let's say function, handle line. Now, string split in Lua is hard. String split in Lua is kind of hard. Gmatch. Yeah, you have to do it like this really silly thing. Gmatch line. That is okay, I guess. Oh, I hate that Lua doesn't have a good way to do this, right? It's really annoying. Yeah, this gfind, this silly gfind. So we can do it like this. Let's do it the silly way. Let's say local out is an empty table. Say for and then is it just this? Is it just like that? Yeah, we can just do it like that. Okay. So I think we can do this. I think we can do this for each string here and do, let's say, table.insert out s. Cool. So we get all the parts of the command, I guess. And then we want to return out. And then I guess we say send.push p. Awesome. I need to run to the bathroom really quickly. I'll be back in a second. Cool. All right. Literally, if I had $1 for every time I had to Google splitting a string in Lua on stream, I'd have like $10. And that's more times than I should do this, right? Welcome to everyone coming in. Welcome to everyone coming in. If you're new to this channel, I always love to hear anything cool that people stopping by are working on. If you've got any cool projects, let me know. Let me know. You know, we've got some resident Odin experts. We've got some PlayStation 2 game hackers. I am just doing, you know, whichever way the wind carries me on this day. If not error. Yeah, so if there's no error, then handle and push this line. Otherwise, I guess we'll print. That kind of works, right? So this is going to run forever, and that's good. Maybe we actually need a second channel, right? We'll call it billboard event error, right? So when there's an error, we'll say if I get a cent for every time you Google how to pass all args in bash to a command, if I had a cent for every time I've had to Google xargs when I'm doing bash stuff, man, it never seems to work out. Not an expert spending enough time. I'm being a bit silly when I say expert, but it's cool. You know, always looking out for weird esoteric languages. I love to raid people doing OCaml, apparently. This is called send channel. Nice. Okay, so we'll see if this works. We'll see if this works. So I guess we want to do this in function love.load. Right? We probably want to say, like this. TCP thread is love thread new thread, and this is going to come from pipe.lua. Avoid writing bash scripts because of the awful syntax. Bash isn't too bad as long as you keep your bash files appropriately small, right? There's the bash Python line, right? That complexity line where your bash script should be something else. This is something I really like about Go, actually. Go's really good for shitting out more robust command line programs that are still easy to write and easy to read and easy to reason about, but they're good for that. They're good for that kind of small program. Writing a build system in bash. That's pretty cool, actually. Yeah, because everyone has bash. Didn't Soding write his own? Where is this opening? 9. Didn't Soding write his own? Oh, here, literally right here. I opened this tab like 18 times. What sentence? What am I saying? Didn't Soding write his own build system in C? Because if you already have, oh, here we go. Yeah, if you already have C, like you're writing C, you're building C, so you're gonna have that for a build system. It's kind of cool. I like that idea. Oh my gosh, HTTP server and framework. What? Framework will locate corresponding script and execute it. Wow. So this is very, this feels very like CGI-esque, right? Which is kind of amazing. It's kind of incredible. Yeah, you need to sign in for it. I'm not signing into that. But that's really cool. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Domain-specific build system. What's your domain? Cool. So we've got a thread. And this thread is just going to run thread.start. TCP thread start. And I think that's all we do. So now, when we update, we run existing events. And then once we've done this, we're going to handle new events. You found 2 RCE exploits? Yeah, I'm not surprised. Bash. Yeah, this is Bash. The domain is a custom kernel for x86. For like, you know, that sounds really cool, and that's a good reason to build your own build system if you're building a kernel. If you don't build your own build system for the kernel that you're building, as it evolves in complexity, you will probably build your own build system on top of make or CMake, or, you know, you'll have to like customize it to suit your thing. Yeah. Cool. So, okay, handle new events. So we need to get these channels, and we should probably do this here as well on load, maybe. We'll just grab these. Cool. So once it's loaded, grab these channels, and then we'll say send channel. We want to try and grab from it pop. Now, does this block channel? I want the version of pop that peak. Leave it in the queue. No pop. Wait for a thread to accept it. This is interesting. This is like the blocking version. Has read get count. So I could say get count, right? So if get count is bigger than 0, what does pop do? Returns nil if there are no messages. Okay, so this won't wait. So we just pop local new command is this. And we're just going to assume we're not sending more than 1 event per frame. Otherwise we'll just overflow this eventually, but that's okay. That's another day's problem. Someone will work out how to denial of service this, and you know what? Because this is a programming stream, they're welcome to. If someone denial of services my billboard, then we can do a live stream where I fix the denial of service. I'll leave the door open. So as long as I don't have a remote code execution bug, because that would be a bit of a problem, but even then, it could be kind of funny. I trust that people would use it to do something on my stream and not own my computer. So, you know, take this as it is. Okay, so we're going to pop a message from here. If new command isn't nil, then we want to interpret it. So we'll call it local new event. We'll maybe say parse event or build new event. And then we say event list add new event. Easy, done. And somehow this is no longer balanced. If end local. Oh, hold on, there's too many ends. This shouldn't be indented. There we go. Your bash stack. Zig does this. Write your build script in your. I really like Zig build scripts. I'm gonna do that. Bash awk something. Hey, I'm just a variable. Awk has a function called system. Oh boy. So you're like, you're calling bash from within awk from within bash. That's cool. We have Zon. I don't really know what Zon is. Oh, Zon, that's Zig object notation, right? It's like the RON equivalent to Zig, which is the Rust equivalent to JSON. Pretend the packaging system doesn't exist, throwing away any package, throwing anything in your source tree. This is also how I do C dependencies, by the way, because it's just easier. And I don't work on sufficiently complicated C projects that this is ever a problem, this kind of vendoring. Your bash stack RC is something like sed. Player R. I don't know what R is. Oh, R is execute, right? Said R runs a command. Doesn't it? Because isn't, like, in Vim, isn't R S? Oh, S. Okay, sorry, that's different. So replace. Did you just inject, like, did you do XSS stuff with what you were replacing? Maybe? Just inject some HTML? Was it not escaped? Because that would, that would be kind of bad. Okay, what happens if I run this right now? Okay, it does stuff. It does real stuff. So let's, oh yeah, well, we don't have a parse function yet. That's the main thing. So we'll let hello world run for 4 seconds, and then we'll just poll. Simpler. I don't know enough about, I think I'm overthinking it. Echo test said ELS. Huh. Yeah, wow. I mean, yeah, like Bash, you do have a lot of not mysterious, like unexpected behaviors for these things. Sed is a programming language, exactly. So I need to write this build new event function, and then we're good. So let's go function build new event. It's gonna take ES, which is a list of parts. So basically a message comes in, and it'll be like scroll speed. Right, something like this. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, it has a dash E, which is execute. Yep. Makes sense. Yeah. There must be so many. Right? Dash E is it's useful, but it's dangerous when you're exposing anything to the world. Okay, so we'll say if let's say if we don't have any components, then we're gonna do nothing. Let's grab 1. We want to grab the first thing, which is index 1, because Lua is a very silly language. If the type of the command is scroll, then parse it as a scroll command. Else if cmd type is middle, then parse it as a middle command. Otherwise, probably gonna just error, oh no, I don't know what this is. Cool, perfect. Exactly as the doctor ordered. Okay, so if it's a scroll command, then we need the text and we need the speed, so we are gonna grab, we're just gonna blindly grab. And again, I need to quickly Google this. Lua integer parse int. 2 number, that's right. An error has occurred as the error message. Yeah, it's a bad error message, but we'll survive. Here, if it's in the middle, we just need a duration. A text and a duration, sorry. So it'll be the same text, ES2, and duration is going to be 2 number ES3. Beautiful. Okay. And then we just need to return events. New scroll, text speed, and this is going to be return events, new middle, text duration. Awesome. So let's see what happens when I run this. We get hello world. Can we telnet into this port and do something with it? Let's do this. Let's say telnet Do I just localhost 40627? Does that work? No. Do I have to... Hold on. Oh, for fuck's sake. Excellent, excellent. Do I do this? No. I can never remember my command line options for telnet. Host port. No, that's what I did. That's what I did. 127.0.0.1 40627. Okay. Now I want to try saying scroll. Wow. 200. And it errored. Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. That's good. That's good. I know what to do here. I know where that error came from. Okay. It didn't tell me anything, but I know where it came from. So let's add in the command type to this error message. Let's telnet 127.0.0.1 40105. And it looks like that did not do what I wanted it to do. So maybe in fact, this isn't quite right. Let's just print out the line that we get. Print line. Let's print out the line that we get and just see what this looks like on this end. 127.0.0.1 40689 foo bar baz. Okay, and then that just kind of died. Cool. Unfortunately, I think I'm probably going to have to call it there, but this was a good start. We did some threading stuff, we drew some stuff. Inspector, thank you very much for the follow. Sorry, I was a little bit delayed. Once I get this working, I'm going to be able to put people's names up on screen. It'll look something like this. It'll look something like this. It'll look something like this. Let's do a demonstration, right? That'll be kind of cool when stuff like this appears, except it'll look nicer. It'll be prettier. We'll have a better font. We'll have a better background. Stuff will happen. Cool. So you're the first proof of concept. Thank you, Inspector. And that is unfortunately all I have time for tonight. Today kind of got away from me, as many of my days tend to at the moment. I've got a lot of music practice to do. I've got a lot of important stuff to get working on. So thank you everyone who has stopped by. We've had a nice couple of viewers today. We've had a lot of people hanging out, which I always love to see. Let's find someone fun to raid and pass on the love. So, a couple of Russian streams, dev stream, interactive live concert. That kind of sounds fun. Stream overlay things. That is similar to what I was doing. Game dev questions. Twitch chat and VS Code. That Twitch chat in VS Code. This sounds like a weird VS Code extension. I'm very tempted by this. Creature collecting game. That sounds very cozy. PvP game. Game jam review. Cozy game dev. This looks interesting. Let's just throw some viewers over here. And let's see what this channel is and what they're doing. We'll find out the hard way. Thank you very much, everyone who has watched. Let's show this new channel some love. Thank you, and see you next time. Bye.